Militia Group. Thank you so much for sitting down with us today, Ian.
My pleasure.
Listeners will be, well, this is it for the convention day. Last day. I'm Tom Ashbrook. This is On Point.
Is a production of WBUR Boston and NPR. This week on Invisibilia, we explore the stories of people who faked it till they became it.
I said, well, what if we just created like a fake celebrity entourage, and let's just see how many people actually will think I'm famous. Guys, what was it like meeting Brett?
But can change happen from the outside in? That's on the next Invisibilia from NPR.
Sunday at 10 a.m. East, 7 West on NPR Now.
Pretty much with him all day long.
I'm Lizzie O'Leary. That him in the clip just then, that's the President of the United States. Official White House photographer Pete Souza makes the Marketplace quiz. Next time on Marketplace Weekend.
Saturday and Sunday at 2 p.m. East, 11 West on NPR Now.
During this national election, we are going local to explore different issues.
Refugees have been coming to Vermont for decades.
Southeastern Utah, American Indian tribes are...
In Newark, workers carried picket signs of Martin Luther King Jr. through the airport.
Different places.
Baltimore, Wisconsin,
Chicago,
Mississippi,
Texas.
To understand the voices behind the votes. Listen every day.
Marketplace is supported by Malwarebytes. Small, medium, and enterprise businesses worldwide use Malwarebytes to remove malware and protect against advanced online threats. More at malwarebytes.com.
On the program today, international trade as the economic bad guy. From American Public Media, this is Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Ooma, a cloud-based phone service working to help businesses run efficiently. Ooma, the smartphone for your business. More at ooma.com. And by Battelle, supplying U.S. troops with life-saving technology so they can operate in the world's most dangerous environments. Because at Battelle, it can be done. More at battelle.org/troops. And by Curious.com, helping people learn something new every day, like travel tips, Tabata training, toy making, and more. More at Curious.com/marketplace.
In Los Angeles, I'm Kyle Risdall. Thursday, the 28th of July. Great as always to have you along, everybody. I am no betting man, but this one's probably easy money. At some point in her acceptance speech tonight, Hillary Clinton is going to talk about international trade and how she is going to make sure the TPP, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, her old boss's big trade deal that's kind of, well, stuck in Congress, how she is going to make sure that it doesn't go anywhere unless and until it protects American jobs and American workers. Just a guess, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. What's interesting about that, among many, many things about this election that are interesting, is how a several thousand pages, literally 5 million individual tariff line items long agreement is how that TPP has become a red-hot issue for both Democrats and Republicans. From our desk at Oregon Public Broadcasting, Marketplace's Mitchell Hartman gets us going.
President Obama faced heckling and anti-TPP signs during his speech at the Democratic Convention. He's popular, but backs an increasingly unpopular trade deal, which Hillary Clinton once supported and now opposes. I heard the same message far from the conventions, in liberal Portland and the conservative ranch country of eastern Washington.
I coach the team roping, and then we've got calf ropers, goat tie, and barrel racing. And they do the bull
I
riding.
met rancher Neil Slater at a summer rodeo Bible camp where he volunteers. He's a pro-business Republican, and he's seen the rural West struggle.
I would have to agree with Trump. Free trade is one thing, but fair trade is something different. And the free trade has really hurt us as far as the wheat industry and the cattle industry.
In Portland, I talked to 22-year-old yoga instructor Larissa Jonkus, a diehard Bernie Sanders supporter. She doesn't believe Hillary Clinton's conversion on free trade.
I mean, I'm sure there's good things she could do. I'm just concerned about the bad things like the TPP.
Now, this left-right alignment isn't unprecedented, says Jeffrey Shaw at the Peterson Institute for International Economics.
That's just a flashback to 1992 and the NAFTA debate, when Pat Buchanan and others on the right wing of the Republican Party allied with Ralph Nader and others on the left wing of the Democratic Party. Almost the exact same rhetoric.
But now the rhetoric has captured masses of voters in both parties. Partly, says Robert Scott at the Economic Policy Institute, because of NAFTA, which many voters blame for job losses and displacement.
Often we find that we have growing trade deficits with our partners in these deals that are designed to encourage outsourcing. This also tends to put downward pressure on wages, so it hurts essentially all non-college educated workers.
And, says Scott, with a weak economic recovery and an election looming, pretty much the whole country is paying attention to jobs and wages and asking what government has done to make matters worse. I'm Mitchell Hartman for Marketplace.
It's easy to think political conventions are about the speeches and the pageantry and the sign waving, and they are to some degree, but they are also a business opportunity, a great chance for lobbyists to come and schmooze with decision makers all trapped in one convenient location. From our help desk at WHYY in Philadelphia, as it happens, Marketplace's Dan Gorenstein spent an afternoon with a woman who wants Congress to pony up more money for medical research.
The art of leaning in. That is Suzanne Folk's forte.
The key is really arriving early and trying to start the conversations before the program begins, and then staying after to see if you can connect with more people.
Folks is with Research America, a nonpartisan group that advocates for medical and scientific research. The organization lobbies and educates Congress on behalf of academia, patient advocacy groups, and major companies. Some top priorities include more dollars to develop a Zika vaccine, keeping the cancer moonshot going. On a blistering hot and humid Philadelphia afternoon, Folks flashes confidence and charm as she met Oregon Congressman Earl Blumenauer.
Hi, Coach. This is Suzanne Folks. I'm with Research America.
A Procter & Gamble executive.
I'm with Research America. We're a nonprofit advocacy alliance and outside Washington, D.C. and Arlington, Virginia.
Even a college kid there.
Hey, hi. I'm Suzanne Folks with Research America.
Folks is on the lookout for people who share interest in solving medical problems, and the parties and luncheons here are a great place to do it. Sheila Krumholz is with the Center for Responsive Politics. She says when the conventions come around, entire Washington lobbying firms have been known to pick up stakes and move operations to the host city. It's a smart play when you're in the business of selling influence.
It's much easier to have these conversations when people let their guard down, the champagne is flowing, the music is playing, there's a feast, lavish spread out.
One of the great things about conventions is the partnership is really help your cause. Understanding what next to do. About that person is the fall when there's an incumbent president. It's all set up, says Dr. George Benjamin, head of the American Public Health Association. She says when it comes to public health and medical research, who that person is will prove to be a challenge.
There's no question that I know very clearly who's interested in helping the campaign, and we are really struggling to figure out who's advisors.
Suzanne Folks with Research America has also reached out to those campaigns. She hopes soon that candidates will provide statements on how they want to advance medical research. Though Hillary Clinton has publicly laid out several ideas already. In the meantime, folks will keep working the room. So the real question is how many business cards did you get?
I'm working on it. I so far think I have half a dozen or more, but the day's not over yet.
Folks says you never know when you might meet some influencer who you can work with in the future. I'm Dan Gorenstein for Marketplace.
Wall Street today, another treading water down today, and equities bonds too, if you're curious. We'll have the details when we do the numbers. about every big Wall Street movie you've ever seen and who played the starring roles? Michael Douglas in Wall Street, Leonardo DiCaprio in The Wolf of, Christian Bale in American Psycho. It's always